Hello everybody, welcome to Style Me Hannah. Welcome back to another video. On this channel we talk about all things fashion, sewing and DIY, so if that interests you, please be sure to subscribe to this channel. YouTube is telling me that over 95% of people that are watching my videos are not subscribed, and I would really appreciate it if you take the time just to subscribe so that you keep up to date with any content that I post. It's completely free and it's just a really nice way to support your creators for free. The seasons are starting to change. I'm wearing a big home knitted jumper from my nan, and that's when you know, because in the last couple of videos I have been dying of heat, sweat dripping down my face trying to sew. This is my favorite kind of weather, absolutely love it. And we are going to be going through our cupboards. We're going to be looking at what we didn't wear last season, what possibly new items we need for the new season, and we're going to end up doing a closet clear out where we end up with a whole bunch of unworn, unused garments. So the question is, what do we do with these garments? What are the options that we have besides just chucking them into the rubbish where it will end up in the landfill? Option number one, we can donate them. We can give them away to people that need it, that will get more use out of your unwanted garments. Things like charities, maybe you know somebody that needs clothing. Are a lot of these donate bins around in Durban? I've seen quite a few actually. There's some in Westville, in Kloof, there's some in Pinetown, where you can take your unwanted belongings and you can put them into this bin and then they will distribute it to people that need it more. Option number two, you could have a clothes swap party with your friends. Now I've personally done this and it has been quite fun, where you bring all your unwanted garments and your friends bring their unwanted garments, and basically you barter and you like kind of trade with each other. So let's say I've got a pair of jeans that don't fit me anymore but are still in such good condition. I would then say, I'll give you a pair of jeans for that top that I really like of yours, and you kind of swap like that, and you have it with like snacks around, and you kind of make it a vibe, because things that you don't like in your cupboard might be appealing to somebody else looking at your garments with fresh eyes. Option number three, you can sell your items online. There has been quite a boom of online shopping in terms of thrift store. Before, you could only really go to charity shops in person and shop, but now a lot of people are putting them up on Instagram, Facebook. Everybody, I'm sure you've heard of Jaeger, where you can put, it's like basically an online store, and you can list your items there and people can shop through that platform. But a lot of people just take it upon themselves to put it on their Instagram stories or Instagram posts, and that is quite an effective way to sell your garments, especially if you've got things in your cupboard that are fairly new, maybe with tags still on, and you don't want to just give them away. This is quite a cool and effective way of making thrifting accessible to people, but also making a bit of money back for the garments that you've outlaid for. Option number four, you can take unwanted garments that are a little bit worse for wear, not really worth donating, you can't really make money off of them, and sell. You could use them for household purposes, so that just prevents those really worse for wear garments from ending up in the landfill. Option number five, which is what we are going to be doing today, you can upcycle or thrift flip. Now basically what this entails is taking a garment that you either have in your cupboard that you don't really wear, or you've thrifted something that's either a bit too big, or you want to add something to it to make it more fashionable in today's times. Maybe it's a bit outdated. This is where thrift flipping and upcycling comes in, where you either alter small things, like you change the measurements, take it in, or you completely transform the garment into making it something really cool that is suited to your personal style and taste. Water, because I'm sure my fellow sewers will know we forget to hydrate. Got my coffee and the creme de la creme and Omar Rusk buttermilk Omar Rusk. I recently did a closet clear out for this video, and I have a few things in here that I've been wanting to upcycle and thrift flip for a while, but I've just never really got to it. Today is that day though. We are going to tackle a few of these things. It is quite a big basket of goodies, so we'll see how many we get through. And some things are quick and easy, just needing maybe a hem or just altering things slightly. Some things just need complete transformation, so we shall indulge in both, so we can get some ideas if you guys want to upcycle some of your stuff. Maybe you're looking for some inspiration, or I'm just looking to see how easy it is to take something that doesn't fit you very nicely and how to make it to your body so it just fits you like a glove. We are on the mannequin, and I've just zoomed you up so you can see what we're doing. So basically what I'm thinking of is doing little pleats like that on both sides. So you're kind of just folding the fabric like that, and that way it will kind of cinch in the waist a little bit more, and it will add quite a nice dimension to the top. I think I may add one or two at the back, like little box pleats, but I haven't fully decided. I want to just do the front first, and then we can assess the shape based on that. So let's get measuring, and then we can go from there. So I've just marked a line on where the waistline is going to be, and now I have got my gauge here. How cool is this thing? And I'm going to mark out some pleats. So this will allow me to have nice even pleats. I've just finished doing all the pleats on this top, and I'm about to sew it up. I have been pinning and draping on this mannequin like my life depends on it. I've got a whole bunch of pin tucks here in the middle just to give it a little bit more shape, and at the back, turn it really around, I've got some pin tucks at the back as well just to kind of give more shape. I've had to take a lot in. I'm still busy just trying to get these back pin tucks quite nicely done. English is not Englishing. And then I haven't decided yet if I want to put elastic in the sleeves to kind of puff it up or just to leave it as is. I shall decide after dinner. But this is where we are up to. I just checked my phone. It is, I actually can't believe the time. It is 5:07. Maybe I'll feel better after dinner. Either that or I crash. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. I've got my cup of coffee and I'm ready to get stuck into the next thrift flip. However, I do have a little confession to make. It has been over a week since I've been in the sewing room. I think the last clip you saw of me was when I was working on this men's top, and I haven't been back in since. So work has just been crazy and I just haven't had any mental space to come in here, but I'm feeling pretty good today and I just really want to get this video done and out for you guys. So I'm ready to move on to the next garment. I just want to create a really beautiful cinched in waist shape. I'm going to do French seams just because I know a lot of people don't have access to overlockers at home. So I want to show you how to enclose raw edges without an overlocker, and I'll take you through that process. Just finished pinning all the way down the side, just following the shape of the mannequin. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off the mannequin using the buttons, and I'm just going to mark where the pins are and match up all the little dots along the side. So I've just finished marking all the way where the pins were. The sun is shining today. Okay, so for French seams, what you want to do is you want to have your blouse or whatever you are altering the right way facing you. So usually when we sew, we have the right sides facing each other, so we see the inside of the garment. But for French seams, you want to have the right side of the garment facing you, so the wrong sides are together. And I've just kind of pinned along the edge here just to keep the blouse steady, and I'm going to do a seam all the way on the blue lines on both sides. I've just finished stitching along the line over here. Now what you're going to want to do now is cut as close as you can to your stitch line, just not close enough that you end up cutting the stitch line. So just maybe a half a centimeter away, just all the way down on both sides. So I just cut my finger on my rotary cutter. I don't think it's too bad, but there is a lot of blood, so I'm just trying to stop it. While I was filming that time lapse, I pushed down a little bit too far, my hand slipped and cut on the rotary blade. The dangers of sewing. Finger has stopped bleeding. I managed to tape it up. So stupid, but let this be a lesson, guys. Be careful with these things. They can do a lot of damage. Luckily mine isn't too bad, but it's just one of those things where it's like that could have gone real bad real quick. Okay, so I'm going to carry on cutting and be a little bit more careful this time, and I will show you what we're going to do next after we've cut the excess off. Once you have finished cutting off the excess, you want to press those seams quite nicely. So I'm just going to open up the seams, press them, and then I'm going to fold them over and press the seams nice and flat. This is the right side of the garment, so this is the outside that shows to people when you wear it, and as you can see the seam is on the outside. Now obviously we don't want that, so now once we finish cutting off the excess and pressing, we're going to put the right sides together so that the inside of the garment is going to be facing us. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a 1 centimeter seam allowance all the way down the edge on both sides. So these are the French seams. As you can see, there's no raw edges sticking on the outside of the garment. And then if we have a little peep on the inside, all the raw edges are enclosed. So that is what a French seam is. And you don't need an overlocker to do this. You just need to obviously account for the extra seam allowance. But yeah, it looks nice and neat inside. And pretty happy with the result. So now what I need to do is I need to crop it, because this type of long line blouse doesn't suit my physique. So I'm just going to crop it at about waist level. So I'll have a little measure now and see. Just marked where I want the blouse to sit, and I've cut off the excess. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little rolled hem, but a part of me kind of wants to make a ruffle with this excess. Just such a beautiful embroidered fabric. I just don't want it to go to waste, but I don't know if a ruffle around the bottom would be a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it under once and then fold it under again, give it a press, and then stitch across the bottom, and then I will try it on and see if I want to add a ruffle, if I'm happy with what I've made so far. I just finished this blouse off camera quickly. I decided against the frill. I want to keep it nice and simple. I just did a nice small hem at the bottom. It was a bit finicky, so I just quickly did it off camera, given it a good press, and this is this garment done. Good morning, everybody. I've got my cup of coffee and I'm ready to start this next thrift flip. The garment that I'm going to be working on, some people would have seen if you watched my previous video going to the SPCA and doing a little thrift haul there. I picked up this pastel dress there. I will include footage of what it looked like on bod, but basically it was just a bit too big for me and it was too long, and because this fabric is a little bit more stiff, there wasn't any flow to it, so it basically made me look like a very short rectangle. So I did do some off camera, some prepping, just so the video isn't going to be 5 hours long. But basically I cut the top off of the dress and I'm thinking of turning this into a cute peplum style top, maybe some pink fabric, little frill at the bottom. It's not going to go to waste. I will utilize this. But the main attraction of the show is the actual dress itself. Boob tube, maybe with some ties, some bow detail. These were the waist straps kind of tie at the back. I cut them into 4, which maybe I'll use to kind of do that tie detail. I unpicked the front seam of this dress to make it open and lay flat like that. And I've marked a 3 centimeter from the top, which I'm going to kind of fold over and stitch down. That's going to be the top hem. And then I've marked a 1 centimeter from the folded over hem, and that's going to be where I'm starting the shirring. So I'm going to be doing about 13 to 15 rows of shirring elastic, and then I'm going to sew it back together, maybe sew up the slits a little bit because this dress does have slits on both sides. And it might be a little bit risque. And that is the plan for this last garment. I'm going to be putting on some press tour podcasts from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If you know, you know. The season was so chaotic. It was so hectic. But I love hearing their thoughts after the show. It's so funny. So I think I'm going to do the Jen on the Val files because I've watched all the other cast members, so I'm interested to see her perspective. So I'm going to put that on, have my coffee, have a nice morning of sewing. We have some beautiful weather, blue skies, some sunshine's coming into the sewing room this morning. The vibes are vibing. So let's get onto a sewing montage and hopefully my vision comes to life. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Quick little update. I finished the shirring and it went so incredibly smooth. I'm so happy. There were no hiccups. I didn't have to unpick anything. The sewing gods were on my side today. I ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 rows. So I ended up doing 15 rows. I was going to do more, but then I put it up against my body, and I think I kind of like it just the bust being shirred, and then it like flows quite nicely out. Also leaves more room for eating food and not feeling restricted, which I'm all for. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put right sides together. I am going to stitch down the seam. This is going to become the back seam now, and then overlock it. I definitely do have to close some of the side slits up, so I'm going to do that too. And then put the straps on. And then we finish. If you are curious about shirring, I do have a tutorial on my YouTube page where I made a DIY peplum blouse using shirring. I definitely have got a lot better at it, and I must say in that video I say don't backstitch on your shirring, because every time I did it in that video my machine got clogged up and I have to like reset my machine, and it was a bit of a nightmare. However, I found that obviously I did sew the elastics together in the side seam, which was fine, but I've tried backstitching with this one, and I must say it definitely does secure the elastic a lot more. So the problem that I was experiencing in that video was the little tail that sticks out the bobbin, like this thing here. When you kind of put it through the hole, this is where you kind of wind it. Little piece here was getting caught in my machine and was jamming it, so that's what was causing the problem, not the back stitching. So I just trimmed that right off, and then the machine goes smoothly. So I just finished hand sewing the hem, and one of the really nice things about hand sewing is that master the art of invisible sewing, and basically you don't see any stitching, or you might see slide stitching on the right side, and even on the inside it's all neat and you can't really see anything. So I've just finished doing that, straps on, and then we are done. I know you're probably wondering, Hannah, why go through all this effort to thrift flip something when I can go to the shop or order online and get it for way cheaper, way faster? And honestly, it's just up to personal preference. If you don't like sewing and you don't like the process of making clothes, obviously this is not going to be something that you want to do. However, if you are interested in fashion and you're interested in sewing, this is probably the best place to start. I started thrift flipping before I even touched like actually using a pattern, cutting out on fabric, and I feel like it helped me understand the construction of garments better. You do need to know how garments are put together to sew them together, if that makes sense. So I was able to understand construction better, easy accessible, so you're able to find different garments at thrift stores with fabric that you like, and for a fraction of the price compared to buying beautiful fabric brand new. Therefore, when you make a mistake or when you're in the process of learning, which mistakes are inevitable, you don't have an absolute meltdown because you just spent 400 Rand on this beautiful fabric. And also it's just fun. You're able to have a little bit more creativity. It's faster, so you're not committing to a full-on project. It takes a lot quicker because the existing garment is there, so you're working with the bones instead of completely starting from scratch. So if you don't feel like committing to a full-on project that's going to take you a couple of days, thrift flip is a good idea to just kind of boost your confidence, get that serotonin flowing. And yeah, I use it as an interim in between sewing big projects, just to keep my sewing skills developing, but not draining me and burning me out by doing a lot of big projects in a row. And another big important reason that I think it's good to do thrift flips is because these garments are getting a second chance on life. It is no secret that the fast fashion industry is a huge waste accumulation industry. There are a lot of carbon emissions that come from the fashion industry, but the landfill waste is absolutely insane. And by people going and thrifting and doing thrift flips, you're able to give these garments that would have ended up in the landfill a second chance, and it's just a nice idea to know that there's some sort of positive impact that you're having on the environment. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you try out some thrift flips. If you are interested in sewing, please can you share your little thrift flips creations with me on Instagram. I will share my Instagram handle here, and I will share my page and what it looks like so you can find me. And let's become sewing besties. Show me what you're making, show me what you are working on. And yeah, I just hope you feel inspired. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Tell me which one you thought was your favorite thrift flip. Personally, I think it was this dress. You guys doubted me. I know you did in my SPCA video where I thrifted this. You guys were probably screaming at the screen like, "Hannah, what is that? It's so ugly." But I saw potential and I think it came to life. Subscribe for more content, and I shall see you very soon. Bye.